When it comes to editing your videos or making cookies, organization is everything. Take it from me. Welcome to my channel. My name is Vani, and thanks for watching today. I thought it would be fun today to talk about my experience editing my first video while I'm trying to make chocolate chip cookies. If I can do both of them at the same time, we'll be doing a good job today. So, when I first made my video, I forgot to wear my microphone. So, guess what? I actually made sure today before I did my video that I was wearing my microphone. So, I'm off to a great start. I actually made a checklist before I started this video because the first time I edited my video and made my first YouTube video, I did not make a checklist video. So this helped prepare me for this particular video. And as you can tell, I'm already stumbling. And this is real life and realistic. And when you have issues like this, to me, this is a natural phenomenon that will happen in your video. This is real life. And instead of me editing this part out, I'm going to keep on going to show you this is human nature. And when you're having a real conversation with somebody, you are going to have stops, natural stops in your conversations, and you don't stop in the middle and say, oh, pause, let me go back, restart my conversation. You continue to go. And this is what makes us all human and having real conversations online. But hopefully having a checklist will help prepare me to have a better conversation with you. So in preparing for this video, as we mentioned, not only did I have a checklist, but I also went ahead and got all my ingredients out for the recipe. I made a spot on my countertop for the wet ingredients, and I made a spot for the dry ingredients. I even took out my sticks of butter ahead of time so I could make sure that those warmed up and were softened for the recipe, so I didn't have to wait in advance for those to soften and take time out for that. I also made sure that I got my recipe card out so I could um, make sure I could look at this, cross check. I know sometimes we like to measure with a little bit of love and measure by heart, but I also like to compare notes and look and make sure that I haven't forgotten anything on my recipe card. And that's why I also have my handy dandy laptop right here too, because I have taken down notes, because the notes that I have taken, I want to make sure that I share with you because they were important steps that I wish I had written down before I had my first video and I sat down to edit. So, one of the first things I would recommend, and some of the big, let me put on my glasses here so I can read. First, big lessons that I would say is have a folder on your desktop that you're going to use for each specific project and name that folder. Like today, I'll probably name a folder on my desktop, cookie editing video. Not only will I name it that, but I will actually date it for today's date. So I have a reference to go back to. Having proper dates and naming of your videos can be very critical when it comes time to uploading your videos and putting it into your editing software. So let me give you an example. When you go to videotape your first video or second or third, you will notice that most likely you will have maybe, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 20 small videos that you're taping for your first video. In between those videos that you're making, you will have what's called B-roll, or images that you want to insert, or pictures. And it's critical that you name those, because then when you download everything into your folder and then export that into your software where you're going to edit that, you now can see a picture and a storyline So when you drag it down into the timeline of where and how you want to edit your video, you can see by your title exactly where the video storyline is supposed to be, making it possible for you to have a start. You know where your images need to go, where your B-roll needs to go, your middle and your ending storyline completely to help you edit the process. Doing as much research as you can before you make your first YouTube video and edit your first YouTube video is crucial. I probably watched maybe 50 to 100 videos on different ways and different softwares people used and narrowed it down to what I thought was going to be the most user friendly and budget friendly for me. And even though I watched that many videos, when I actually went to complete the editing process, I still had problems because watching it on video and then going to actually use and complete the process are two different scenarios. Also, what I learned is actually downloading the video from your phone and knowing how to download it from your phone to the actual editing software or downloading it directly to your computer PC is not as easy as I thought it would be. So, kind of do some research on that before you start if you're not sure how to do that. I also found it helpful to understand my iCloud email and software, so I knew that larger videos that I had trouble downloading and editing, I learned that I could use my phone, email that to myself on iCloud, and use AirDrop. And that really helped me understand how I could download that to my desktop and then edit that in my folder, which, in my opinion, it is much easier to edit on your laptop or desktop PC than it is, or at least for me, on my cell phone. Something else you may want to consider before you start on your editing process is make sure you have enough storage on your cell phone and on whatever equipment you're going to use to edit. Also, you want to make sure that your battery is charged. I'm just looking at my notes here. Your battery is charged, and also try to limit the background noise as much as possible. You may want to ask your family or go to a office or have a dedicated space or let them know ahead of time that you're going to be editing or videotaping so you can try to minimize that as much as possible. Use simple techniques and editing during your first editing process. Try something easy like adding text or adding images. Don't try to get too fancy or too crazy. Once you get that down and you feel like you've perfected that, then you can move on to something else. Just like with cookies, if you try to use something easy, adding something onto your baking sheet here to enhance the cooking process, such as parchment paper, this one little easy task, adding it to your baking sheet, will help elevate the cookies tremendously. When you cook it, it helps with the sticking process and it helps perfect the cookies. And by the way, make much more video footage than what you think you'll need. Do more clips in different ways or move around to different locations or destinations than you thought you would. When you do videos, maybe take it to different locations, different rooms, inside or outside. Don't always use the same spot. And when you make cookies, make much more than what you think you need, especially if the grandkids are coming over. And adding B-roll footage is much more engaging to the audience than I thought it was. So I'm certainly trying to do that on all my videos a lot more. It's definitely a mindset. It's about pushing through the barrier. Don't just talk about making the video, make the video. Don't just tell the grandkids you're going to make the cookies, make the cookies. Something I forgot to mention earlier in the video when it comes to storage is I found that the more and more videos I was editing and actually downloading and exporting onto my desktop was really taking up a lot more room on my desktop and PC than I thought it would. So I actually bought a USB drive off of Amazon that I'll link below. I think I got 2 in a package for $8.99. And this has really helped clean up my storage. And I will also label these and keep these in a nice organized area so I can refer to these too if I ever need to review these again. Quality control and feedback. The best part of making the video is when you get to hear the comments and feedback from your audience. When you get to hear in real time and watch your analytics on YouTube and learn from what you could have done better or actually what is working for your program and your channel. And hopefully it will take off and actually get you monetized. For me today, adding chocolate to my chocolate chip cookie recipe will be the best part for me. And my feedback will be when my grandkids come over today and I get to watch their faces and listen to them tell me thank you while they're devouring the chocolate chip cookies. If you want to see the secret ingredients for these fluffy chocolate chip cookies, well, it's coming up soon. You will see the link in the description below, and I will give you a picture in just one moment if you could only smell the cookies in the background. Watch my next video on why I started a YouTube channel. And until next time, and more importantly, make your first video.